The facts matter.
Good morning, everyone. Virgo here. It is January 9th, 2021. I'm starting a new series calling it Incident at the Capitol. This particular section of the series, we'll call it, will be about Richard Barnett. I'm keeping track of this because, as you know, the Virgo Triad channel keeps track of anything that is along the fringe or considered extreme. This would be considered extreme. This particular video will go over the news footage along with the arrest. There's footage of the actual arrest along with some history on this party. Future episodes of this will show to be Incident at the Capitol. As we get additional information on each one of these individuals, I will be posting them separately. I hope everyone enjoys being able to take a look at some of the history of these individuals and what is happening up to date with regards to their arrests.
Richard Barnett was one of many who took part in Saturday's Stop the Steal rally in Bentonville.
And hey, if you don't like it, send somebody after me, but I ain't going down easy.
He supports President Trump's claims of voter fraud and believes that cost him the election. One major complaint, mail-in voting.
People are going to vote and finding out somebody already used their vote and they're not allowed to vote. This is insane.
William H. Bowen School of Law professor John DePippa says otherwise.
The mail-in system has its own verification process. And so there are some people who have made claims, but none of them have ever been verified. And there was a woman who showed up in Nevada the night after the election and said people stole the ballot from her mailbox and submitted it. Turns out that wasn't true, that in fact she had voted.
Jeff Kynard, another protester, believes a common mistake was made inside many polls.
There's been poll watchers that were not allowed to see certain votes count, and according to state laws, they're supposed to be allowed to do that.
But DePippa says the country has put up safeguards to prevent this for years.
So, for example, the voting systems, they're electronic with a paper ballot. Those are hard to falsify in the first place. Secondly, when those paper ballots are verified, they're counted in public with observers from both parties and the press.
It's an election DePippa says would need more evidence to prove corruption. And protesters say would need more evidence to prove it was trustworthy.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Well, Barnett turned himself in today, as we said, and the Benton County Sheriff's Office, KNWA's Andrew Epperson, is live outside there now. Andrew, what more do we know at this time?
Well, Crystal, Richard Barnett's been arrested, but this story is just starting to unfold. Here's what we know now. 60-year-old Barnett turned himself into authorities this morning. KNWA was the first to show you this video showing Barnett walking into the Benton County Sheriff's Office. The FBI tells us he was immediately taken into custody when he did so. After that, officers transferred him to the Washington County Jail, where he is at this hour. You can see him here in handcuffs. The Department of Justice is handling this case. According to the DOJ, Barnett faces 3 charges relating to Wednesday's riot at our nation's capital. That's entering and remaining on restricted grounds, violent entry, and theft of public property. Barnett's set to appear in federal court next Tuesday. If he's convicted, he faces up to a year in prison. The FBI is continuing its investigation into Barnett. We're learning more information each and every hour. Download the KNWA News app. We're going to send updates straight to your phone when we get them. Live in Bentonville, Andrew Epperson, KNWA.
Good evening. My name is Connor Hagan. I'm the Public Affairs Officer with the FBI in Little Rock. I'm going to introduce Special Agent in Charge Diane Upchurch. She's the head of the FBI office in Little Rock. Her name is spelled D-I-A-N-E. UPCHURCH, and she'll be giving a brief statement. There will be no questions taken at this time. Boss.
Thank you all very much for being here tonight. First, on behalf of the FBI, we'd like to offer our prayers to all those who were killed during this tragic incident, and also we hope for a speedy recovery of the injured at this time. And we'd also like to give out our heartfelt condolences to the family of the police officer who was killed, and obviously our prayers are going out to our partners in the U.S. Capitol Police Department. I'd also like to acknowledge the bravery of our law enforcement partners during the siege and their securing the Capitol during that day. Extremely brave, and very proud of our partners that day. We also want to thank our tremendous local media and our public for all the information and help they provided us and to help us identify and locate Mr. Richard Barnett. We very much appreciate it.
That mic is off.
Okay. With respect to this case we have today with Mr. Richard Barnett, I would like to thank the U.S. Capitol Police as well as the outstanding men and women of the FBI in both our Washington field office and the FBI Little Rock field office. In addition, we have our U.S. Attorney's offices in Washington, D.C., and our Western District of Arkansas, and obviously the Department of Justice, who have been great partners. It's been a great collaborative effort on this investigation. With respect to this investigation with Richard Barnett, at approximately 10 a.m. this morning, we took him into custody and it was our FBI Little Rock special agents who took him into custody at the Benton County Sheriff's Office. He has since in federal custody at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. And I will take this opportunity to thank the Benton County Sheriff, Sean Holloway, as well as our Washington County Sheriff, Tim Helder, for all they do to support us every day. The men and women of those sheriff's offices are outstanding, and we appreciate their partnership. Today, we are currently executing a court-authorized search warrant on Mr. Barnett's residence. Hopefully this won't take long, but we are very thorough and meticulous in our searches, and this will be no different. This investigation is ongoing, so I will not be able to make any further comments on that case. However, if you have any inquiries, you may go directly with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. We urge the public to continue viewing photos and videos of this incident. You will find them on FBI.gov and FBI social media sites, and we hope that others will come forward with identifications and other information that will help us find the people who are involved for this violent and destructive acts that occurred on January 6th at our Capitol. Also, we have received information and reports that the Gravett community, the people and city employees, as well as Mr. Barnett and his family, have received threats due to this incident. The FBI will not tolerate threats. This is unacceptable. Mr. Barnett is under arrest. He is, the last thing we want is for people to hold the Gravett community responsible for the actions of one man. So lastly, the activities of those involved in this siege of our Capitol were violent, they were destructive, they resulted in tragic loss of life, and they threatened our nation's security. And those actions cannot be tolerated, and those people must be held accountable. The one thing that Mr. Barnett has done right so far is to peacefully turn himself into law enforcement. The FBI urges others who may be involved to do the same.